Hey everyone, James Lynch here doing a quick reaction video to the news that broke this evening by ESPN's Brett Okamoto that Israel Adesanya is going to be fighting Anderson Silva at UFC 234 on February 9th in Melbourne. And I think this is a huge mistake on the UFC's part in terms of booking Adesanya his next opponent. But first, let's get to why they're making this fight, okay? Clearly, on paper, this does look like a fun matchup in the sense that you've got Silva, who's a great high-level striker like Adesanya. You've got Silva, who's a former middleweight champion. And, let's be honest here, this is a winnable fight here for Israel Adesanya in my opinion, so they want to get him that win, and they're going to sell the fact that, he's got to win over a former UFC middleweight champion, that yada yada yada. But I just don't think this makes sense from a logical perspective. First off, Silva not even in the top 15 rankings. Silva's last win in the octagon was over Derek Brunson, a split decision win that a lot of people didn't think he won. Brunson arguably won that matchup, and what did Derek Brunson do in his last fight? He just got knocked out by Israel Adesanya in the first round. So, I mean, MMA math I know doesn't work all the time, but I think in this case, Adesanya clearly the better fighter between the two. I would expect him to be a heavy favorite heading into this fight. And let's also talk about the fact that there's not a lot of momentum with Anderson Silva right now. He's coming off that USADA suspension, like I mentioned, by a contaminated supplement. Regardless, not a lot of momentum here for Silva. He's 43 years old. I mean, this is a matchup, again, that Adesanya should win. And not just that, but he deserves someone higher caliber in terms of the division. And I know there isn't a huge list of names of opponents out there, but I'll give you a few that would have made more sense in this situation. You've got Jacare Souza, who also fought on UFC 230, who knocked out Chris Weidman. That would have made more sense. You've got Luke Rockhold, the former champion. Yeah, he's coming off a loss, but he's a guy as well that I think you could have sold in terms of a matchup. I know he's injured at the moment. Maybe they wanted to get him in there a little bit sooner in terms of Adesanya, but regardless, Rockhold would have been a better fight. And how about Yoel Romero? He was supposed to fight Paulo Costa. We hear that fight is not happening now. Yoel Romero would have made a ton more sense as far as an opponent. He fought Whitaker twice. That would have been a good matchup. He's sort of the higher caliber guy that Adesanya deserves to fight. I mean, we're talking about a guy who arguably could win Fighter of the Year. Adesanya making a big splash this year with all of his wins so far. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Again, I get why the UFC is doing this. I just don't think this is the right move on their part. You've got a guy in Adesanya who could be a superstar for your promotion, and you're giving him this lackluster matchup, in my opinion. And what happens if Anderson wins here? You kill any momentum over a guy who's 43 years old at this point in Anderson Silva. I know he's a former champion, but he's not the same fighter that we saw, head kick, kick Vitor Belfort in the face. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Follow me on Twitter at Lynch on Sports. You can follow me on Instagram at Lynch on Sports, and be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Lynch on Sports. Hope you guys enjoy the fights tonight. I will talk to you soon.